I'm here for the gratuitous violence, the pillaging, the burning down villages with women and children in the building. Am I the only one? I'm the only one here with this savagery. Speaking of savagery, let's get into The Northman, directed by Robert Eggers, starring Alexander Skarsgård, Anna Taylor-Joy, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, and a little bit of William Dafoe mixed in the mix. The best way I can describe this movie in one word is savage. I was gonna say brutal, but no, it's just savage. This tale is a pretty simple tale. Revenge is a dish best served cold, right? So this movie is straight up about revenge. Alexander Skarsgård, as a kid, seen his daddy get murdered, so the rest of the film is all about that sweet revenge. And on that point, it works tremendously. Not just as a simple revenge tale, it works as just being in this world as a Viking. It felt like I was living in this volcanic Viking world. That's the best part I can say about it. Robert Eggers does some shit with the camera that's just incredible. It's a fight scene early in the beginning of this film. It's a pillaging scene where our Alexander Skarsgård character is pillaging a village. Spoiler, I guess. I guess you didn't think that Vikings will be pillaging villages. I mean, like, the Vikings, they pillage shit and murder shit. You know, that's what they do, right? I'm not stereotyping them. That's what they do, right? It's a shot where the camera follows Alexander Skarsgård from outside of the village and into the village as he climbs this wall, and the camera never really cuts, and you follow him doing his cradle God of War shit this whole time. It is incredible. He is drenched in blood and mud and soaked in mud, and his muscles, his shoulders have shoulders. Alexander Skarsgård's shoulders look like juggernaut helmets, son. Like, how do you got two midgets on the left and right side of your shoulder, son? This dude was a monstrosity man of a beast, bro. All right, back to the violence, which is one of my favorite aspects of this film because it's unapologetic, gratuitous violence at its finest. And I'm talking people getting emboweled and their guts coming out and them trying to put it back in, people being stabbed in the face with swords, and they show it to you. You know what I'm saying? Things that are done with body parts that I didn't think that was imaginably possible. And that's just to show you that, yeah, it's unapologetically violent, but this is the type of world we live in these Viking times. So it's like if I came into your house, right, and you're eating dinner and your wife and your children are there or whatever, and I was like, oh, you thought you were gonna eat that? Yeah, all right. Oh, your wife? Nah, bruh. That's mine now. Thank you. And back to the performances here once again. You got Anna Taylor-Joy, who did a great fucking job, you know, playing her role. You got Ethan Hawke. I'm glad to see him stepping outside of his comfort zone and taking roles like this to show you his range as an actor. Alexander Skarsgård just did the excellent brutality, man of a beast that he needed to be. William Dafoe is here for a little bit sometimes, and he plays a crazy maniac. Yeah, it's William Dafoe. I'm starting to think William Dafoe really acts like this in real life. Like, you know, you be at dinner with William Dafoe and he's be like, "Hey, Spider-Man, you gonna eat your asparagus?" You know, William Dafoe is nuts, and I love to see him from The Lighthouse to here. You know, he plays a small role, but it's effective. But who steals the show in this film is Nicole Kidman. She is spectacular in this role. Like, her being the age, yeah, she almost got to be 60 years old. I don't know how she still looks that way. I was thinking that this might be some deep learning or something, deep fake learning or something like that. But no, I think she actually looks like that. Her and Tom Cruise must have 8 children in their earlier years to remain, to keep their youth. But her performance is spectacular. They throw a twist in this film. Can't spoil it here, but hey, ma. This movie is not based on a video game, but it feels like a video game to me, like one of the best video game movies ever made. And I mean that in the best way possible, because this movie has side quests, sub-bosses. Just when I think it can be nothing physically bigger than Alexander Skarsgård in this film, there is something bigger than him in this film, around 7 feet tall, right? It reminds me of Sucker Punch. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I brought up Sucker Punch. I know everybody hates Sucker Punch, but there's one dope scene in Sucker Punch when the girl fights this samurai warrior, and it reminded me of that. Something from like a Dark Souls or a Sifu or Elden Ring or something like that. Speaking of Sifu, it's the same type plot here, you know? But at the same time, this movie won't be for everyone, right? It's gratuitously violent. So I heard somebody say, oh my God, this is the first movie that I walked out of, The Northman. It's called The Northman. It's about murderous Vikings pillaging and burning villages down to the ground. What do you think you walked into? What, you thought The Northman was about Santa Claus? No, son. The best way I can describe this movie is straight up great. So if you were suspecting Braveheart or a Gladiator, that nobleism that you might be used to, it's not here. Alexander Skarsgård is purely about that revenge. It's almost on sight when you see that dude. So the only negative criticism I would say about this movie, it gets a little weird. A24-ish weird. I mean, we're dealing with Robert Eggers, the person who directed The Witch and The Lighthouse. If you haven't seen The Lighthouse, it's weird. It's not that weird, but they go places that deals with Norse mythology that I'm not completely familiar with. I'm sure history buffs and people like that will know exactly what they're doing with these things, but to me, it kind of threw me out a little bit because I'm not knowledgeable about the Norse mythology like that. But at the same time, it was still interesting. And another thing, there's no black people in this movie. Where's the black people? You know, it'd be funny if they need some character appropriation and they just put Don Cheetah in here, like he played his daddy for no reason. For no reason at all. We just got Don black ass Cheetah in there, you know what I'm saying, with all these white Viking Norsemen. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. But no, there's no black people here. I'm just kidding. We know, like, that's not historically accurate. You know, at least to my knowledge, that there were no black people, there were no black Vikings. If there's a black Viking out there, please put it in the comment section below. It's got to be one black Viking out there, right? You know, Northman the black. I don't, I don't know. So, if I had to score The Northman, it's my first 5 out of 5 this year. And with The Northman, I want to honestly say I was glad to live in this world. I know this world's not going to be for everyone. Some people might be too sensitive. The film might be too slow in parts at times with them. Like, I'm falling asleep. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, getting it. The action might not be back-to-back action like you expect it to be, but to me, the effectiveness of the violence and the action and the storytelling and some of the plot twists that I didn't see coming, I really honestly enjoyed being in this world, and as dark and decrepit that it is, but it's a beautiful piece, and I can't wait to own this 4K to watch this shit on a rainy day to take me back to that Viking time. So that's my score of The Northman. Please let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. Did you hate this film? Let's talk about it. You know, all film is subjective. This is another one that just happened to work for me. It was almost A24 film, but not quite. And once again, thanks you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, consider subscribing and becoming one of the Q Review fam. And as always, you know the drill.
Don't just stare at it. Eat it.
I'm out cold, you hoes been exposed. Walk up on you slow with the foe and unload. You got more left for dead on the road. I strode when your car got